Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Renu Arora, former Head Education and Training Division, CSIR NISCARE, New Delhi. Today we are going to discuss the module Human Resources of Public Libraries. This is under the paper Public Libraries. In this module, we have discussed human resources of public libraries. The greatest resource for development of any organization and for that matter for any library is the human resource. Human resource management is that aspect of management function which is primarily concerned with human relationships within an organization. Let us take a look at objectives of this particular module. Firstly, to understand the importance of human resources in public libraries like all other organizations. Then we will explain the functions of human resource management in public libraries. We will be identifying the levels and types of staff which is required by public libraries. And we will also describe the personnel functions in public libraries. Human resource management. Human resource management, popularly referred to as HRM, means employing people, developing their capacities, utilizing, maintaining, and compensating their services in tune with the job and organizational requirements. Human resource management aims at developing people through work. The human resource function provides significant support and advice to line management. The attraction, preservation, and development of high caliber people are a source of competitive advantage for the public libraries and are the responsibility of HR. The term human resource management is about people, the foremost asset in the organization. Without them, none of the activities would exist. Hence, it is important that there is a smooth approach to develop the human resources so that they give their maximum output to the public library to achieve its goals. It is also a planned approach so that the staff employed by the library also meets their own goals. Students, after looking at what human resource management is, let's now examine what are the functions of human resource management. Human resource management helps us in deciding the staff needs of an information organization. Secondly, we can hire employees to fulfill these needs because we first must estimate what are the category of people and how many staff are required in a library, and then people have to be hired to fulfill these positions. Then comes the recruitment and training the best employees. In fact, recruiting is for the people who are selected, and then these people are to be given training for working on a particular position. In the next aspect, we have to ensure that all those people who have been employed by an organization are high performers. And once they are performing well, dealing with performance issues and ensuring that personnel and management practices conform to various regulations of the particular organization. We have to manage activities that lead to employee benefit and compensation, employee records and personnel policies, ensuring that employees have and are aware of personnel policies which conform to current regulations. In fact, it is vital for any information organization like any other organization to have a full-fledged human resource development division so that people are developed properly. Need for HRM. Let's now examine why do we require human resource management in public libraries. Firstly, it helps to achieve objectives of the organization. With the help of better HRM, libraries are able to achieve their core objectives within the required period of time. It also prevents wastage of the valuable resource of organization by stronger understanding amongst employees. Secondly, facilitates professional growth. Due to proper HR policies, employees are trained well and this makes them ready for future activities and their future promotion, etc. Thirdly, better relations between various levels of management. Healthy HRM practices can help the organization to maintain cordial relationship within the organization. Fourthly, helps an individual to work in a team or a group. Effective HR practices teach individuals teamwork and adjustment. The individuals become comfortable while working in team, thus the team effort and the teamwork improves. Fifthly, identifies person or persons for the future. As employees are constantly trained, they are ready to meet the job requirements. The organization is also able to identify potential employees who can be promoted in the future for the top level jobs. Thus, one of the advantages of HRM is to prepare people for the future. And lastly, allocating the jobs to the right person. Allocating the jobs to the right person means that if proper recruitment and selection methods are followed, the organization will be able to select the right people for the right job. When this happens, the number of people leaving the job will get reduced because they will be satisfied with their job, leading to decrease in the labor turnover. Human resource planning. Planning for human resources is also required just like for other activities. Human resource planning is essential for effective and efficient use of human resources. It is essential to evolve more satisfied and better developed employees. Recruitment scheduling, selection of candidates to match the requirements, deployment, and related placement decisions cannot be properly done if there is no planning of human resources. A plan serves as a guide in all the activities that constitute personnel management. Planning leads to great satisfaction of the staff, lower absenteeism, fewer breakdowns, and better quality of work. Human resource planning has to be carried out like a long term or a medium term plan. It should be the practice of every chief librarian to ensure that human resource planning is carried out every year. Every year, a note should be made of number of personnel working on various positions, and it should also be planned how many are required in the next 3 or 4 subsequent years, and how many people are going to retire or how many people are going to leave, and accordingly human resource planning can be carried out. Techniques of human resource planning. Human resource planning is a process whereby courses of action are determined in advance and continually updated with the aim that the library is a growing organism and it will grow in terms of building, services, equipment, and reading material or the sources of information. New developments, new techniques, new systems, new generation of information technology, and new databases or databanks will creep in. All this will require additional staff, updating of training and skills of the existing staff, and new positions in the libraries in the near future. With view of this, the techniques of human resource planning are firstly estimating personnel resources. There should be an estimate made of how many people are required in the coming years, and for each activity how many people more are required. Secondly, induction and deployment. When new people join an organization, they have to be inducted into the organization and they have to be put on a place where they will be most suitable. For this, the qualifications, skills of employees have to be taken into consideration. Training and development. With the number of years of service put in by employees, their qualifications or skills may have become outdated. So, they may be given further training to take care of new or future activities, and their development can be carried out by several staff development activities. And lastly, communication. It should be the policy of every information organization and also the public library to ensure that proper communication process is in place in all organizations. Communication can be carried out at three levels: with the top level, with the lower level, and at the horizontal level. Because effective and efficient communication leads with cooperation with the staff, and this ensures better human resource planning. We have already seen the functions of human resource management. Let us now examine the levels of human resource management. Human resource management can be viewed from two levels. Firstly, macro approach, which is also referred to as strategic level of human resource management. The areas that are covered under this are HR planning, that is human resource planning. It is vital for every organization to ensure how much staff and in the next few years how many people are required. So, a planning has to be put in place. In fact, it is always proper to plan in advance. The second aspect under macro approach is the forecasting. Forecasting is about looking at all the parameters and then taking a decision on what is going to be the likely scenario in the future to come, and accordingly we can plan for number of people. In fact, it is all dependent on the kind of activities which are required by an organization in the future, and in order to perform those activities, which kind of people and how many people are required. Then third approach in this aspect is the identification of gaps between projected manpower and desired manpower. We have to in fact see the rules of an organization. The regulations are also to be examined, and on basis of this we can identify that how much manpower we had actually projected and how much we actually require at the present time. So these gaps are to be identified, and then we should try to fill up these gaps. Also, we have to see how many people are in the future going to retire or likely to leave an organization. We have to take care of that aspect also. And lastly, here we have to see the optimum utilization of human resources, because whatever personnel we have in an organization, we have to see that best use is made of each and every individual. Then second approach with regard to levels of human resource management is the micro approach. It is also referred to as the operational approach. Here we view it from four aspects: job analysis, job description, job specification, and job evaluation. Let's see what each one is. Firstly, job analysis. We have to analyze what a particular job is all about, because when we want to recruit a particular person, we have to first see what position is available in our organization. So on basis of that, job analysis is carried out. Next is the job description. Job description is explanation of the person whom we are going to employ, what he or she is going to carry out. Third aspect is the job specification. In job specification, we specify the qualifications the qualities and other variables required in an individual. In fact, for each job, we have to provide a job specification which will ensure that a proper person is employed for the job and a proper match is there between the job and the individual. And lastly, job evaluation. Once a person is already working, is already in place, after a certain period of time, that job has to be evaluated. In fact, this is very essential due to the reason that a person may have been employed for a particular job, say 10 or 15 years ago. And in the present day context, those jobs are no more operational. So, people have to be put in new or other jobs, etc. And therefore, the job has to be evaluated in the present day context. Aspects of human resource management. The four aspects of human resource management are staffing, motivation, leading or leadership, and communication. Staffing includes types and levels of staff, organizational framework, personnel functions, salary administration and performance appraisal. Personnel functions take care of recruitment, hiring, training, induction, staff development, continuing education, etc. Motivation induces library staff to act towards desired goals. In fact, in this connection, there are several theories of motivation, and whichever is the most suitable for a particular manager, these could be adopted. Leading and leadership ensures that a group of personnel achieve a common desired goal of the library. And it is always the duty and responsibility of a leader to ensure that the people working under him or her are able to help in achieving the desired goals of the organization. And lastly, communication. Communication is the activity of exchanging information amongst personnel of an organization. Human resources of public libraries. This has to be viewed in connection with the qualities and skills required by public library staff. The public libraries are established for the members of the community who have varied requirements. The staff of public libraries should have various skills and qualities that include interpersonal skills, social awareness, teamwork, and leadership and competence in the practices and procedures of the public library. With this in view, the qualities and skills are as below. Firstly, communication abilities for communication with various members of the society. Secondly, ability to understand the needs of users, because if the staff does not know what users actually require, they will not be able to carry out their work in a proper manner. Every staff working in public library should have capability to cooperate with individuals and groups in the community. Because the public library is meant as a community service, every public library staff member should be able to cooperate with people of the society or the groups in the community so that efficient and effective public library services are offered. Besides this, knowledge and understanding of cultural diversity in the public for whom the services are meant is also essential. Knowledge of the kinds and variety of material required by public libraries and skills to access it is also essential. This is due to the reason that depending on the age, sex, the social level of the public library members, the material has to be acquired. And then there should be ways to acquire it. The language has to be taken care of. And besides this, an understanding of the principles of public service, that means service towards humanity and service towards all, the principle should be followed. Ability to cooperate with co-workers for providing effective library services. Organizational skills with the flexibility to identify and implement changes, imagination, vision, and openness to new ideas and practices, and flexibility to change when new situations emerge. Knowledge of modern information and communications technologies. This can be explained with the very fact that as the times change, the public library should also change its vision, its manner in which services are being provided, and the skills which the library staff has should also be changed accordingly. As and when the public library notices that the society is changing, new technologies are being introduced in several activities. These should also be brought into the public libraries, and the services have to be based accordingly. Similarly, the collection which is acquired by the public library should reflect the changes that are taking place in the society. Besides that, all the staff members have to cooperate and everyone should have a common mission and common goal. Therefore, the skills which the people have to be sharpened, keeping in view the demands of the society which requires the information from the public library. Let us now examine the types of staff which is required in libraries, and the same goes for public libraries as well. We require four types of staff in public libraries, or I should say any type of library. These are professionals, semi-professionals, non-professionals, and support staff. Let's know about each of these types of staff. Firstly, the professional staff. Professional staff are those who are fully qualified individuals. They are usually with a bachelor or a master's degree in library science, and they carry out all the professional activities. Those who are senior professionals usually hold the post of a chief librarian or a deputy librarian or senior scientist or whatever the position may be. The semi-professionals are those who basically support the professionals. So their task is to carry out all the support activities of the professionals. Because professionals are holding senior positions and semi-professionals are providing them all kind of assistance in performing their duties and functions. The third category is non-professionals. Non-professionals presently are of two types. Firstly, those people who are taking care of all the non-professional activities related to the professional and the semi-professional staff. And the second category of non-professionals is those professionals who are required by the library scientists or the library profession, and they belong to other professions. For example, we have the computer operators, system analysts, management persons, or MIS professionals, etc., who are helping the library professionals in performing their activities. In many large public libraries, the non-professionals of this particular category may not be regular employees, but they may be as part of consultants or ad hoc employees. And lastly, the support staff. Support staff is in the form of helpers, peons, drivers, or other kind of staff which is doing cleaning, etc. The other related or support activities to all the professionals and semi-professionals, etc. Let's now take a look at levels of staff in libraries, also the public libraries. In fact, like all other organizations, libraries too have three levels of staff, that is top level, middle level, and lower level. The top level management determines the objectives, policies, and plans of the organization. They mobilize, that means assemble and bring together available resources. The top level management does mostly the work of thinking, planning, and deciding. Therefore, they are also referred to as the administrators and the brain of the organization. Middle level managers give recommendations to the top level management and implement the policies and plans made by the top level management. This level thus coordinates the activities of all the departments of the library. As this level has to communicate with the top and the lower level management at all the times, its time is usually spent on coordinating and communicating. And lastly, the lower level management directs the other staff of the library. They develop morale in the staff and maintain a link between them and the middle level management. The lower level management informs the workers about the decisions which are taken by the management. They also inform the management about the performance, difficulties, feelings, demands, etc. of the staff members. The library staff, therefore, like any other organization, works at three levels of management. And at each level, individual library professional has to carry out different roles, different duties, responsibilities, and functions. Salary and benefits. Like all other organizations, libraries, that is, public library staff also has to be given suitable salaries and other benefits. In most of the public libraries, salaries and other benefits are as given here: salary, base salary plus allowance, total salary, and total remuneration. Besides this, salary scales can be of two categories: overlapping scales and non-overlapping scales. The salary structure is usually based on length of service, merit, or combination of both. Salary for staff varies depending on a number of factors. That means it could be type of public library, for example, state, district, city, rural library, etc. Size of the library, the location of the library, years of experience, etc. Salary is referred to as an amount which is paid to library staff in return for work for a particular period, which is usually a month. So, depending on the size of the library, people are given positions, and depending on the positions, the salary scales are determined. Usually, in most of the government governed public libraries, government scales or scales at par with the other government employees are followed, and salary structure is dependent on length of service. Length of service refers to the fact that every year certain increase in salary is provided to the individual. Merit is another factor. Merit refers to the fact that after a certain period of time, as the policy of the organization, people are given some kind of promotion or a higher scale, wherein the increase in salary takes place. In many organizations, it is automatic. That is, length of service and merit of the individual are both combined, and the person is remunerated suitably according to that. Benefits. Benefits given to employees include employee insurance, retirement benefits, bonus, conveyance allowance, medical benefits, etc. And besides this, monetary rewards. The benefits given to the employee are usually as per the policy of the organization. For example, in Government of India, all the people working under Government of India are given an employee insurance. It is a group insurance scheme whereby employees contribute a small amount every month, and in case of any problem or any contingency, they are suitably remunerated. Retirement benefits are given to a person when a person superannuates or leaves the job prematurely or retires. This is to ensure the later years of a person. Bonus is again a policy of the government, or in case of private organizations, if they make a huge profit, bonus is given to the employees. Conveyance allowance as per the policy of the organization, depending on the level of employees, every month some allowance is remitted. Similarly, many organizations also pay a house rent allowance, and medical benefits are also given depending on the level of a particular person. And besides this, some monetary rewards are given, which are not a fixed kind of remuneration, but if a person does well, or if the policy of the organization allows, then people can be given a cash reward in the form of the services provided by the particular individual. Personnel function. The personnel function is associated with recruitment and hiring. Recruitment of staff refers to employing of fresh, best and most suitable personnel for desired jobs. Personnel function includes recruitment sources, which could be internal or external, inviting applications, then written tests and interviewing people, then applicants shortlisted and most suitable candidates are selected, and once the selection is carried out, selection process is over, letters are sent to people appointing them to a certain position. And if a person agrees to join an organization, and when the person comes to join the organization, they are inducted into the organization and deployed at a suitable place. Next is training professional staff. People have to be trained suitably to carry out the required activities in case they lack certain skills or certain qualifications to handle the job. And lastly, personnel function includes exit interview. Although exit interview is something not popular in India, but it should be a good practice to be followed. Because when an employee decides to leave an organization, exit interview is conducted by the top person of the organization to know the reasons why the particular person is trying to leave, so that if there are any drawbacks or deficiencies within the organization itself, that can be taken care of. Discipline and grievances. Discipline in the library is an effective management tool with which one can achieve a better and more efficient workplace. It applies to staff conduct, whether by act or omission, that interferes with or affects in any way the orderly and efficient operation of the library work. The library staff who wish to pursue a grievance should initially attempt to informally resolve the grievance with their immediate superior. The library authorities should ensure that all employees are treated fairly. A staff member who believes that he/she has been treated unfairly may write a letter of grievance to the appropriate authority. It is the responsibility of the library authorities to ensure that each grievance is resolved suitably. The discipline aspect includes violation of rules and regulations, unsatisfactory work performance caused by carelessness or malicious conduct, off-duty behavior that adversely affects work performance or morale, and failure to meet employment requirements because of inability or inefficient training or insufficient training as well. Grievance basically means any real or imaginary feeling of dissatisfaction and injustice which an employee has about his or her employment relationships. We have already seen that staff development activity is required for those professionals who have already been working in an organization for certain number of years. In fact, once a person has been working in the same position year after year, carrying out the same activity year after year, some kind of change is required. So, in order to develop people so that they can go in for higher positions or do well professionally, staff development activities have been carried out. Some of the staff development programs are lectures. Lectures could be given by the staff themselves, or they could be sent to attend lectures within the organization or outside the organization. Then job rotation. Job rotation means transferring people regularly. Of course, in public libraries, it is really possible to rotate people. That is, from one division to another, people can be sent. Let's say for 2 years, a person works in one department and after 2 years is sent to another department. Then do it yourself activities. These refers to certain activities which are carried out by people who volunteer to do it themselves. Discussion groups. On certain current topics, the chief librarian can form certain discussion groups on which meetings or discussion could be held on regular intervals. Projects. The library could take certain projects, and certain individuals who are really interested to join, they could take up the projects which would be better for them. Individuals can develop themselves. Then demonstration. Demonstration means some software has been developed or new equipment has been acquired or a new service or activity has been added. So for that, a staff member is asked to give demonstration to other staff members or maybe to the users of the library. Coaching. This is someone is doing a mentoring kind of thing, takes some junior person under his wing and tries to coach a person to do better. Formal training. This is becoming very popular nowadays because people can be sent for some formal training program to other organizations, or within the organization training could be conducted for people. Formal study. Formal study means attending a regular course. For example, some staff member is already a B.Lib. That person may himself or herself try to do MLibSC, or the librarian may sponsor that person to do formal course of study. In such cases, if study leave is required, that is provided to the employee. Consultancy. The library may take up some consultancy project and the individuals may be sent to consult others. Similarly, mentoring could be carried out. Supervision. Supervision refers to, for a particular activity, a person may be asked to supervise the whole aspect or whole project by himself. So that is supervision. Then technical assistance. Technical assistance is carried out in case of any new project, or let's say nowadays most of the libraries are doing library automation project. So in that case, the staff may provide technical assistance. Then ad hoc transfers. If a public library has lot of branches, a person may be temporarily transferred to some other branch for a certain period of time. Then membership of committees. The libraries usually have lot of committees, and if staff are encouraged to be members of the committees, it will be really good for boosting their morale. Sponsoring for seminars, conferences and publications. Just like training courses or formal study, individuals should be regularly sponsored for attending seminars, conferences and for writing publications, because this is for professional development of an individual. Then membership of professional associations. So maybe the library could sponsor people or give some monetary assistance to people for sponsoring or for membership of professional associations. So these are several staff development programs which help people to develop themselves so that they do well professionally, they can go in for higher positions, or they can even change their job or organization. Training. The developments in information and communication technology have made the need for regular training even more essential. The importance of resource sharing and networking and access to other information sources should be included in training programs for staff of public libraries. Training enables employees to acquire new skills, keeps the employee up to date with changes in the field, aims to improve efficiency, and can be carried out in-house or elsewhere. It is thus an important and vital aspect in public libraries. Training programs can be with regard to improving qualifications of individuals, improving their skill levels, or improving their work efficiency. Ethical standards. Public library staff have a responsibility to maintain high ethical standards in their dealings with the public, other members of staff, and external organizations. All members of the public should be dealt with on an equal basis. Every effort must be made to ensure that desired documents are complete and accurate as far as possible. Library staff must not allow their personal attitudes and opinions to determine which member of the public are served and what material are selected and displayed. The public must have confidence in the impartiality of the library staff if the library is to meet the needs of all members of the community. Ethical standards are to be adhered to while dealing with the staff members also. The top and the middle level managers should ensure that all the staff are treated at par and equally, and proper ethical standards are followed. After discussing human resource management and various other aspects related to it, let's now review what we have learned from this module. In this module, we have discussed the importance of human resource management for public libraries. We have seen functions of human resource management. We have seen levels of human resource management. We have learned about qualities and skills required by public library staff. We have also seen the types of staff, which is professional, semi-professional, non-professional, and support staff. Besides that, we have known about levels of management. These are top level, middle level, and lower level of management. Then we have also seen the salary and benefits which is required by public library staff. And besides this, we have seen personal functions which are to be performed by library staff. And lastly, we have learnt about ethical standards which are required by public library staff and which is very vital in the present day context. The other details regarding this module are given in your e-course material. Thank you.